frequently, I think we've all asked our question from time and again, this question, it's, what am I here? You know, what am I doing here? And I believe, I know that we are here for one of two reasons, either to grow spiritually or to help others grow spiritually. And that's what we do here on this earth plane. Now, I'd like to begin this journey by talking really about who we are. And we begin with our soul. And our soul comes, of course, from the divine. And then we have a spirit that really is it takes our soul and it brings our soul into the world. It is a vehicle. Our spirit is a vehicle for our soul. And our spirit then has a mind. We have mind. So mind is a vehicle for spirit. So we move from our soul into spirit, and then our spirit uses mind. And our brain is a vehicle for the mind, because our mind is not in this little head of ours. Our mind exists out here. It exists in our aura, or perhaps even our aura exists in mind. And it's with mind that a medium connects with those people who are in the spirit world. How does a medium do that? So a medium will raise their energy, they will raise their vibrations in order to meet the vibrations of those in spirit. But the people in spirit have to also lower their vibrations. And this is how that meeting comes. And this is where we begin to join, and we can have communication with our friends and loved ones in spirit. So we come to grow spiritually, or to help others grow spiritually. And when we move into the spirit world, we understand that the first thing that happens is it's a period of rest. It's a period of reunion. And it's a period of adjustment. So all people, and people will say to me, well, you know, what about people who have done horrible things? What about people who have intentionally hurt other people? Everyone who moves into spirit is met by their loved ones, their friends, and also by wise beings. And in this, they begin to adjust to life in spirit. And this first period in spirit runs from about 1 to 6 months. So people will say, well, you know, my loved one just passed, you know, can you contact them? And sometimes we can, but for the most part, frequently, it's at that 1 to 6 month or 3 to 6 month period that they're just adjusting to things. So it's not that they don't love you or that they're not around you, because this is what people wonder. It's that it's an adjustment period for them. And then we move into that period of what we would call self-knowledge and assessment. And so it would be at this time that their whole life would be put out in front of them. And they would be able to see this life in a very, I always say with a 360-degree perspective, just with an ability to see what they did, what they didn't do, and how that affected other people. And it also affected them, how it affected themselves, and it affected the world as a whole, because, you know, even the smallest thing we do does affect everyone. And so it's during this period of self-knowledge and assessment that they begin to learn. Now, enlightened souls will meet us or them at that time. And they will help them. They will help them with the assessment period and also the understanding period. one time, it goes on for a long time. And it's during this period, frequently, that a medium is going to be able to contact your loved ones. Because it's during this period that they're assessing their life, and they want to reconnect with people here. They want to kind of build a bridge. And it might be during this time, and people will frequently say to me, I'm beginning to feel my husband around me, or I'm beginning to feel my mother when I cook her favorite sauce. I feel her moving close. And that's because they're in this period here of assessment and self-knowledge. And what they want to do is they want to reestablish a relationship with those loved ones here. And they want to build that bridge, because it's a different relationship. You know, even those of us who do this work, we understand and we know without a shadow of a doubt that we're contacting people in spirit. But when we lose a person, they're not here. We lose their physical presence. We lose that physical companionship. So our loved ones in spirit want to reestablish that connection with us. Frequently they also come. They might have some things to clarify, why they did something, you know, how you're feeling about it. And then sometimes they come and experience and express remorse, or they just really say they're sorry. Now, there's always a little aside here for me with this. While I certainly think forgiveness is a wonderful thing for us, for those of us who need to forgive, but just because a person comes to you from spirit and asks to be forgiven doesn't mean that you have to do it. Because you have to be able to do it in your time, when you're ready. And it may be now, it may be, I worked with a woman who was well into her 80s, and she was finally able to forgive her mother for something, because I was working with her, and the mother began to explain things to her. So she was ready. The first two steps are really talking about adjustment and assessment, and kind of, you know, really getting used to being in spirit and connecting with those here. That's why it's such a wonderful thing when people here come to a medium, because you're allowing your loved one to have a voice. And without a medium, they frequently don't have a voice. Okay. It is a very wonderful thing to do this, because as much as we want to give you the affirmation that we really are working with your loved one, we get that also too, over and over again. And I have to say, I've been doing this a long time, and still, every single reading I do, every single contact I do, I'm in awe of it. And I'm just overwhelmed by it. And it's such a privilege, you know, to do this kind of work. Okay. Well, thank you all very much.